John McArthur is here. Hello, welcome, John.
Hey, Matt.
You, of course, are from, we met through NH Music Collective. We were at the Run Like Thieves show in Concord. And tell us a little bit about that. And by the way, we are going to play some of your music too, because you are a musician in addition, of course. But tell us about the NH Music Collective.
Well, the NH Music Collective was actually started by Brad Myrick a number of years ago. He's just a super accomplished guitarist from Hillsborough.
Okay.
Hillsborough? Hopkinton. Sorry, Hopkinton. I can't even remember.
Yeah.
Hopkinton, New Hampshire. And it was sort of a side hustle business for him because people kept asking, can you help us find other talent that as good as you to play some of the venues that he was playing? And so he grew that, but it was pretty much a side hustle business for him. And, and he was working out his strings and things. He was one of the first people that I met when I moved up here. He was introduced to me by Mikey G, if you know Mikey G.
Oh, I think I do.
Yeah. When I came up here, I met Mikey. I saw him at the Common Man in Concord, and I told him what I was up here doing, and he said, "Oh, you got to meet Brad Myrick." So met Brad Myrick. Worked with him for a little bit on some projects at a recording studio we had in Guilford, and then my wife and I liked Brad so much and what he was doing, we decided to invest in NH Music Collective, and so we joined the team, and it's been growing from there.
I want to hear more about all of that and what you do, but I also want to play. I'd like to give because I want to talk to you about that, but I also want to talk to you about your music because you are a musician. And one of these tracks that you sent is pretty new, I think, right? Or are these both new?
They're both new, actually. I've had in my mind this album that I want to do called Friends, Family, and Me.
Yeah.
And so it's songs that I wrote, songs that some friends wrote, and some family members wrote. So we just started putting it together, and the first two tracks were the simplest ones, so I put those out. We're going back in the studio soon to finish up the others, which are a little more complex.
Excellent. So let's play this. And this is really pretty. How do you say this? Is it Tirza?
Tirza.
Tirza.
Yeah.
Okay. What does that mean? Is that just a name, or does it have some?
It is a name. It's a biblical name, but it also kind of translates to my delight.
Okay.
And so when I think of this song, it helps me think of my delight.
And is it just you on the song?
That's just me on the song.
Okay. Yeah, let's give this a listen. It's short, but it's really pretty. I like this a lot. And then we'll come back and talk more with John McArthur. But check this out. love that. That is really nice. That is Tirza. Am I saying it correctly, John?
You are.
John McArthur is here with us live in studio. Do you finger pick all of that, or?
Yeah, it's all finger pick.
I'm always really impressed by that when I see people do that. I don't feel like I'm a bass player, and I play with I even play bass with a pick. I don't because
Okay.
I just like to me it's I can't imagine what it must be like to use fingers to make all that happen. So I love that. That is truly remarkable. We have another one of your songs too that we'll play later in the segment, but very beautiful. Where do you record?
Well, actually recorded that up at the Studio Portland.
Okay.
A quick update on my wife and me. We just made a major investment in the Studio Portland. So
congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, so we're majority owners of it now.
Excellent.
That started as a collaboration between NH Music Collective and the Studio Portland, and Reeve and I liked the studio, and actually our son is one of the engineers there. He was the engineer on this song.
Oh, outstanding.
And so we decided to invest in it, and so it's been great.
And that must be cool too, to be able to work with your son creatively like that. That must be amazing.
It is. He's actually producing this album, and so he's the engineer and the producer on this, and doing a lot of the arrangements. So.
Oh, very good, very good. Now, so getting back to NH Music Collective, what are some of the things that you do? You told us a little bit about the history of it and how you got involved. What does the collective do? What are the goals of it in terms of, I mean, obviously it involves New Hampshire music and perhaps musicians from other areas as well. But tell us about the kind of the mission statement of NH Music Collective.
Well, it's really been evolving. So we started this, shortly after COVID hit, shut a lot of things down, right? I mean, well, our investment in it, and our goal initially was to get musicians work, just get as much work as we possibly could for musicians, and at better pay with better experiences for the musicians and for the audiences. So so as we think about venues that we want to work with venues that are investing in music, care about both music and the musicians, and the experience that it creates for the audience.
Yeah.
And so it's just been growing from that perspective a lot. We did 1,500 events last year.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. I had no idea.
Yeah.
That's incredible. That's incredible.
For our team of 3, we did all right. From Maine down to Rhode Island. So we're not just New Hampshire, although that's the name, NH Music Collective.
Okay.
But more of our events are in New Hampshire, but we're expanding into other areas as well. So,
you did 1,500 events in a year?
Yes.
You don't look tired, but you must be.
I'm exhausted. I'm actually exhausted because we were in Portland, Maine. Brad and I were in Portland, Maine. Riva, we're all in Portland, Maine on Thursday night for a live audience recording of 6 singer-songwriters. Some of them from Manchester, by the way. So drove all the way to Portland to be part of this.
Yeah.
And then last night I was at the Livery in Sunapee. Didn't get home till 11:30. After that, we had a duo from the UK. They were top 10 finalists in Britain's Got Talent.
Oh, wow.
6 years ago.
Yeah.
Jack and Temps. They're actually staying with my wife and me this weekend. We got 4 shows for them. So that was one of them last night.
Yeah.
So I'm exhausted.
Yeah.
but I'm having a great time. So it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Yeah. There you go. Perfect. That's perfect. Yeah. And how long? So you told us, but I forget. When did you first get involved in NH Music Collective? How long has it been?
Reeve and I invested in June, I think, 2020.
Okay.
So
now, did you expect it to get to this point where you're doing so many shows and where you're doing so much? Like, what was your expectation? Have you? Because I'm guessing the way things have gone may have exceeded your expectations, or maybe not. I don't know, but.
we got big dreams, and we're starting to get to some of them. We want to elevate I have to be careful how we say it, but we want to elevate the experience for the audience, right? And so that means the musicians have to take it seriously, the venues have to take it seriously, and create some real quality experiences for the audience. So one of my favorites that I started about, I guess it was 2 years, a little over 2 years ago, was at Sap House Meadery in Center Ossipee, which is in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
Right. And it's a tiny little place, small, not much bigger than this studio, And so we partnered up with them to create a mead tasting. They make honey wines there.
Okay.
And a 3-course meal, right? And a 1-hour concert. And the music and the food are paired. So we've had Indian performers. We had Ashkenazi Indian food. We had Senny Hunt there, which I'm sure you know Senny.
Yes.
So we had Senny there, and we had West African food. We've done Cuban. We've done Brazilian.
Wow.
All that. So that kind of an experience, we sell those shows out. They're fabulous.
Oh, I can imagine.
And then, I don't know, like giving some of the local performers an opportunity to be on some bigger stages. Mm-hmm. This partnership with Capitol Center for the Arts and the Canton Lounge.
Yes.
But then we had, and now the challenge goal is after Taylor Hughes' show, which I think I told you about.
Yeah.
Taylor's somebody had never done a ticketed concert before.
Oh, he's amazing. We've had him on the show. He's amazing.
Right. And he sold out the Canton Lounge. And he said, but I got 25 people who want to buy tickets. And so they said, okay, we'll flip you to the other side. So we flipped it to the 300-seat side.
Wow.
And he sold that out.
No kidding.
In June. Yeah,
that's amazing. Good for him.
That was phenomenal. So we're going to do some more shows with him. We're working with some other theaters.
Yeah.
So anyway, we want to, so that's a long answer to your question, but we want to elevate the opportunities for the local artists. Mm-hmm. We also want to create touring opportunities for national artists and international artists. So we're starting to do that with some of these concert venues that we're partnering with.
Okay.
And we're just starting to get into more risk-taking things for us.
Yeah.
Where we're actually almost acting as a promoter.
Okay. Okay. How many venues do you currently have partnerships with? I mean, is it quite a few? Or
yeah, it's a lot. I can't even. I haven't counted them. Brad has a bunch that he works with. I have a bunch that I work with, and then we collaborate on some. I have a spreadsheet. I'd have to consult that.
Yeah,
I have lots of spreadsheets.
Yeah. Well, no, that's good. That's good. We were very impressed because when Jenny and I met you, at the Canton Room. Am I saying the right Canton?
Yeah, Canton. Yeah, Canton Lounge, Canton Room.
Oh, Canton.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can't. Yeah.
Okay.
But you came for Run Like Thieves.
Yes. And we'd never been there before.
Oh wow.
And walked in, and it was like, wow, this is really nice.
It was great. I'll tell you, that was an interesting one for me because I've known Dan Fallon, who's the lead singer for that.
Yeah.
For a while, we started booking him a year or two ago.
Yeah.
Something like that. And then he put together this band. He used to have the Dan Fallon band, and then he had the Run Like Thieves. I knew the bass player. I didn't know the drummer, but now I know him.
Yeah.
And so we hadn't done too many bands there, and I said, Dan, I like him, and I said, let's try this. See if you can sell some tickets.
Yeah.
Ticket sales are fascinating for me. So for Dan's show, I think we were a week out, and we sold 35 tickets.
Yeah.
And it holds 75 seats, right?
Yeah.
And the day of the show, we were turning people away.
No kidding.
We had so many last minute people. I would if I could change one thing here, it would be have people make a commitment early to go out and see live music and bring a friend.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
I have a new religion. It's like don't go see music alone.
Yeah. And
so anytime you want to go, Matt, Jen, I'm game.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Obviously in that situation, it was too late to flip him to the bigger room.
Yeah. So that's the thing, right?
Yeah.
So, and then we had same situation with Senny when Senny played there. He was coming back.
He's got a big following.
He has a big following, and he was in the same situation. It was 35 or so tickets sold, and luckily the person who handles the box office was there that night, and they let me bump it up to like 92 upstairs, but we couldn't flip it to the other side.
Yeah.
It was too late.
Yeah.
Because you need more staff for that.
Yeah.
So anyway, these are great experiences, but hey, message to your listeners, please make a commitment early. Bring a friend. It matters to the venues so they can plan better. It matters to the performers. And if you think you might not be able to come, something might come up, give the ticket away to a veteran.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Something, yeah.
Yeah.
Give it to a friend.
Yeah, people probably don't think of that in terms of not waiting, because in this social media world that we live in, you've got so many options of different things you can do, and
Right.
it's probably this hadn't occurred to me until you brought this subject up. But yeah, it's probably too easy for people to just kind of wait till the last minute, and they don't, of course, they don't know that can cause a challenge for the artist and the venue and whatnot. If you don't know, it's no different than if you're planning a party and you want to kind of have an idea of how many people are coming, so you know how much food to get or whatever, and if you don't know and you get all these people showing up at the last minute you weren't expecting, it can cause a problem.
Yeah. I guess the great thing is if you turn someone away at the door, word will get out. You need to start committing.
Right. Yeah, there you go. Well, and it's a good problem to have in the sense that,
Exactly.
you're doing something that there's high demand for, and this artist is obviously ascendant if they're they're building a following of people who want to see them. So that's great. And now in terms of the partnership with, and I'm familiar, I live in Manchester now, but I grew up in Concord, so I'm very familiar with the Capitol Center. It's the Capitol Center, right?
It's the Capitol Center for the Arts. They have
the only reason I hesitate on that, because when I was a kid, it was the Capitol Theater, and I don't remember when it changed, but at some point when I was growing up, it changed from Capitol Theater to Capitol Center.
Yeah, well, and I don't know the full history. I think there's a book about the history of the smaller venue.
Oh,
that's available at the bookstore across at Gibson's.
Oh yeah.
I met the guy whose I think his mother or his grandmother used to run when it was a movie theater.
Yes,
right?
I remember that. I remember being really little and my dad taking me to that theater to see Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Okay, there you go. There you go. So and he would tell stories about sleeping upstairs at the theater.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
But yeah, so they acquired it. They saved that building because they had the Chubb, I think, and then they saved and renovated B&H. Now it's B&H stage.
Yeah.
Was Capitol Theater, right? So the movie theater.
Yeah.
Right? It was a movie theater.
Yeah.
Did a major renovation, and it's turned into a great flex space, meaning you've got the lounge upstairs, which is a little bit like Jimmy's almost in Portsmouth, with the lounge seating and stuff like that. And then you've got the very flexible other side, which is 300 seats, which can collapse down to a dance floor, and 100 seats or whatever. And then you've got the Chubb for really big, much bigger shows. So
yeah.
It's great. It's just great. We've been able to get some opportunities for some of our local performers to open for acts on the big stage.
Oh.
And also, so that's important to me.
Very
so
cool.
they're now going to us for to vet opening acts.
Yeah.
Or to recommend opening acts.
Outstanding. Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah. Do you play out?
I occasionally play a farmer's market, or if we get a last minute sub request and we've gone through 450. No, we go through 50 sometimes. Artists and can't find someone else to take the sub. Sometimes I'll do it.
Oh no,
I enjoy playing out, but I don't need to play out, and I don't really want to take work away from other artists.
Sure.
Honestly,
yeah.
Because a lot of our artists are full-time performers.
Yeah,
it's how they make their living. It's
Yeah. When you do play out, do you do instrumentals, or do you also sing live?
No, I sing. Yeah. I'm a picker and grinner.
Yeah.
I'm an old folky.
Yeah.
I used to play a lot of Baroque folk and
no
stuff
kidding.
like that.
Oh wow.
But I grew up on Simon and Garfunkel, and I grew up on more obscure stuff.
Yeah.
But I'll play occasionally songs that people know.
Yeah.
I'm also a big fan of David Wilcox's songwriting. I don't know if you know him, but I love his.
A little bit, yeah.
He's a baritone, which is nice for me because I'm a baritone.
Yeah.
So much music is for tenors.
That's true. Where are you from? You're not from here originally, right?
I'm from all over. I was born in Miami Beach.
Oh, okay.
Grew up in western Colorado, back to Florida. Met my wife in Florida. Then we moved to Minnesota, and then to Texas, and then to Massachusetts, and then up here.
Oh, you have been all over, yeah.
Yeah.
What brought you up here ultimately?
Well, New Hampshire specifically, or the Northeast?
Both.
Okay, the Northeast, because my wife is a neuropsychologist, in addition to being a third of NH Music Collective.
Oh,
And a major investor in the studio. But she's a neuropsychologist, and she came up to work in a head injury rehab facility in Boston.
no kidding.
And in the Boston area. And so I was in Texas. I had left music at that point, and I had started working in IT. And so she got the job as a neuropsychologist. I came up and worked an IT job up for a bank in Boston. And
Yeah.
we came to New Hampshire because our oldest son found his passion in audio recording.
Okay.
And he went to NESCOM, New England School of Communications,
Yep.
at Huston University. And as he was getting ready to graduate, it was like, okay, he's not, he needs a place to work. And so we stumbled on a property that had a studio on it. So we bought it. And then
Wow.
I came up here to help him grow the business.
When I'm curious about this. So when you were still living in Texas, so you say you left music.
Yeah, because I don't play country. I was doing really well in Minnesota. And,
Yeah.
Playing the college circuit, playing every restaurant, everyone had music in Minnesota in the early 80s.
Was it
everywhere?
Where in Minnesota? Was it Minneapolis?
I was in Minneapolis,
Oh, great music scene. Yeah.
But I would play up to Bemidji, I would play I would play across Wisconsin, down to Iowa. So I was playing all around that area, playing 5-6 nights a week.
Yeah. Wow.
There.
Yeah. So you were full time.
I was full time. Yeah. When my wife and I met, I was full time music. So I did that while she finished her PhD, and she did her first postdoc up in Minnesota, and then she got her first faculty position at University of Texas. And I don't play country, and the money was lousy.
No kidding.
The money was horrible.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. So
without playing country, there was really no.
There was really no opportunity at that
Wow.
point. I mean, there was a little bit in Austin, but not a lot. It wasn't like it is today.
Yeah, because I was going to say today it's such a vibrant scene for.
But
everyone.
so I had an agent in Minnesota, kind of like the opposite side of the equation from what NH Music Collective. But I had a booking agency that was pretty much my sole representation.
Yeah.
And then in Texas, I got an agent down there, but the gigs were just horrible.
Wow. Yeah.
Drive 250 miles because you can in Texas without leaving the county.
Yeah.
And, get paid $50 and no hotel and it's like, no.
Was it difficult for you to make that transition or?
It was, and it was time,
Yeah.
It was time for me at that point.
Yeah.
So
because a lot of musicians get burnt out anyway and kind of need a break.
Yeah, well, they do, and I think, Texas wasn't going to be my home. Turned out it wasn't my wife's home either. She was ready to go within 6 months. So so we only stayed in Texas for about 11 and a half months.
Oh, okay.
And then she got this job opportunity in Boston, so I followed her up there, up to Boston.
Oh, excellent. So once that happened, did you jump right back into playing?
No, I didn't. At that point, I'd already started down the IT path and
Yeah.
got a little more addicted to money,
Right.
And I knew that I knew as a musician, I wasn't going to blow up. I'm a songwriter. I like what I do. I like some of the songs I write. I don't like them all. I like what I play. I don't like all that I play.
Yeah.
So and I found a sort of a more natural fit for me in IT,
Mm-hmm.
and so I did that for a lot of years. And
so what was it? Now you talked about your son and buying the property with the studio and everything.
Yep.
When that was happening, did you kind of think, did you know that was really just the beginning of you plunging all the way in like you have now?
I had no idea.
Really?
I had no idea. No, I was working as an analyst for an IT consultancy, Gartner Group, and that was they're probably the largest IT consultancy, and I had clients all over the planet, and I was traveling some.
Yeah.
Before COVID, I was traveling some, but we all worked remotely, so I could work from anywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but just gradually over time, it just got more and more. Brad and Reeve and I started growing NH Music Collective. The studio was not growing as fast as we wanted it to.
Yeah.
I'm really proud of some of the recordings that came out of there. Sam did a fabulous job. Brad produced some of the music there. We actually did one of Brad and Nicola's albums, which Nicola Cipriani is his duo partner, who's fantastic from Italy. He was over, and we did that album. We did Eric Lindbergh's album. We did, if you remember, Victim of Circumstance.
I think so. Yeah.
So they've all broken up as a band, but they're all playing in great bands now. So Harrison's playing in River Sang Wild, and Cam is playing in Rumboat Chili.
Okay.
Sorry, Cam, if you're listening. Rumboat Chili and Brad. I don't know what Brad's doing right now. Brad Hartwick. He went off to another band for a while. So anyway,
yeah.
But we did that, their EP, and so really good stuff.
Yeah.
Sam's done all of Cameo's recordings, if you know her. And
yes, actually, yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, but Portland is a great place now. So Sam moved.
Yeah.
Sam came to us a year and a half ago. Said, "Hey, I want to go to Portland." Said, "Go."
Always been a great scene.
Yeah,
there,
it's a great scene there, and there's more musical diversity, maybe.
Yeah.
There, which is nice.
Yeah.
So so it's just worked out really well.
Is the marketing of a recording studio in this era, is that a big challenge? Because there's so many of them.
Well, not with you talking about it, no.
Right.
I think when you think about recording, so first of all, this the studio that we acquired is a commercial studio, meaning it does voiceover, it does podcasts.
Oh, okay.
It does ADR for movies.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. It also records albums.
Yeah.
It's a training program for aspiring producers, recording engineers.
Oh, wow. So you've got a lot to offer there.
There's a lot going on in that place. So,
yeah.
And I've only learned that recently, since all the incoming calls now come to me.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah. So all of the phone. This is the oldest commercial studio in Maine, and it's had the same phone number since the beginning.
No kidding.
And the building owner was getting all the calls, and as soon as we acquired it, I switched the phones to come to me.
Yeah.
And it's just been remarkable. So,
yeah. That's great.
So anyway, it's but yes, you're right, because the big competition for a lot of studios is not another studio, it's home recording.
Yep.
I'm gonna do the podcast at home. I'm gonna record my album at home. I'm gonna, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Right.
It's a little more difficult to do a full drum kit at home with proper acoustics.
Yeah, absolutely.
But anyway, so we also want to be a support mechanism for home recorders too. We'll help them. We'll train them.
Yeah. Oh, that's really cool. Yeah.
And our competition there is Berkeley. That's what, 70, 80,000 a year.
Yeah. Yeah. I did a summer program there, and it's expensive. No, so that's great. That's great. And your son must be very happy.
He's very happy. He's working, every day is a different project, and every day is a different experience. And he's super, super technical. So
that's good.
He can handle all of the surprises that come up.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I would imagine in the beginning, there must have particularly been a lot of surprises going into a situation like that.
Well, he actually wired that studio for the other producer there, the one who sort of took over that business from the prior operator.
Oh.
So Sam they call him Soldering Sam.
Yeah.
So he actually wired up that studio and the studio that he had before that. So he and Ryan Ordway have a great relationship.
Oh,
you know Ryan? Yeah.
Yes. What band was it? I used to book. I worked as years ago. Geez, this might have. Oh my God, where does the time go? I think this was 20 years ago.
20 years ago, I was going to say.
Ryan Ordway was in a band that I used to book. I was a booking agent for a bunch of bands, and what the hell was the name of the band? I can't remember the name of the band now. But Ryan's amazing. I haven't talked to him in so long. But wow, yeah. But I used to see him like a few times a month because I was booking his band pretty heavy.
Yeah.
I can't remember what the name of the band was.
You know, and I don't know. I don't even know the name of his band. But
Yeah.
so he was operating the studio that was on the property that we acquired when Sam when Sam was graduating from NESCON. We were looking for a place.
Yeah.
Actually, the first recording that Sam did after we took over that space and installed a console was in collaboration with Ryan. With you'll probably know this name, Alex Preston.
Yes.
So Alex,
Yep.
so we actually recorded a couple of the songs Sam did of Alex in one of the albums that he did after he was third. I think it was third place on American Idol or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, very cool. Very cool. Wow, that's awesome. I think what we should do, because I want to play. We've got a little bit more time to talk, but I also want to play this other song. I think it's "Willing."
Yeah, Willing.
Anything we should know about this one?
The only story on this one is
Sorry. Go ahead.
The only story on that is that I have a fellow that I used to play with, Alan Gross, down in Florida, and when I told him I was going to do this album, as I was going to include one of his songs, and I told him I was going to put Tirza on it, he said, "Well, you got to do this other song that I've got that I heard you play once," and I'd forgotten that I wrote it. He said, "But I want this on the album," and so I don't play it out because it's really short. It's very simple. And you need a real listening audience to play it. So I just say, you got to put it on the album. So this is for Alan Gross, my former playing partner that I agreed to put it on the album.
All right. Very nice. And this is called "Willing." I love the way that sounds.
Thanks. We were talking about Baroque folk, so I used to listen a lot to John Renbourn. When I was in college, there was another guitar player, Peter Angermeyer, that I played with some, and he would play these most remarkable things in DADGAD tuning, and I didn't know DADGAD tuning, D-A-D-G-A-D tuning on guitar. He was playing this song. It's like, how'd you do that? How'd you do that? I was constantly asking him about it. So I sort of got addicted to that tuning. Well, John Renbourn plays in that tuning a lot.
Okay.
He was with a group called Pentangle back in the 60s and 70s.
Okay. Yeah. I just love the way the guitar sounds, and when it sounds so good that you can hear the fingers moving on the fretboard. Yeah. You know what I mean? I love that because that's not an easy thing to capture.
Yeah, and Sam, as I said, recorded that. And what I love about the way, but it was the same thing with Brad and Nicola's album.
Yeah.
If you get a chance to listen to that one, it was just the guitar sounds that he's able to capture. He has a lot of microphones on a guitar. It's not one microphone. He's got a lot of mics on his guitars.
Yeah, because the neck, the fretboard must be mic'd too, right? It's not just putting a mic in front of the body of the guitar. I am not an engineer. I don't even play one on TV. I leave it to the experts. I'm always super curious about that.
Come see Sam.
We got to get him on the show. But yeah, the sound of that is just really, really good. Did you say, do you have an album that you're working on?
I'm working on it.
Yeah.
We've got, Sam's been working on the arrangements. By the way, the rest of the album will sound almost nothing like that.
Really?
I have two other songs I'm going to do in Dad Gad tuning. Both of those are in Dad Gad. But then I'm going to do a song that my brother wrote called Sugarfly Mama, which is nothing like
Yeah.
any of these. And I've got a few others. So, yeah.
Oh, very cool. If you're just joining us, we have John McArthur here with us live in studio. And John is from NH Music Collective. And now, getting back to that a little bit, we got a few minutes left. Jenny is here as well, by the way. Jenny was busy typing away on something, but hello, Jenny.
I'm present.
Yes, present and accounted for.
I don't know about accounted for.
In terms of NH Music Collective, how does that work? Bringing in artists to work with. I mean, do artists reach out to you that want to work with the collective? Do you seek them out? Is it both? Is it? So
it's a little bit of, it's a lot of both. We probably get 20 inquiries a month.
Wow.
Of, hey, a lot of times the conversation will start like, hey, I'm looking to play more in New Hampshire. You seem to be booking all the venues that I want to play. So, excuse me. So, how can I become part of the collective? I started running an open mic at Patrick's.
Yeah.
To sort of vet singer-songwriters. Bands are a little harder.
Yeah. Oh, you got it. Yeah. Hey, I allergies?
Yeah. No.
I was going to say, I know the pain.
It's lack of sleep.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, there's that.
I think I've had 3 nights in a row of 4 hours of sleep. So,
yeah.
But yeah, so I try to get out as much as I can. I mean, I'm out listening to music 4 or 5 nights a week if I can.
Wow.
Some of that's just checking on our venues. But we're talent buyers for venues. We're not agents for artists. And I think a lot of artists don't understand the difference.
Yeah.
So the venues hire us to book talent for them.
Yeah.
Right. I tell people who are looking for places to play, there are lots of places to play. Yes, we book a lot of venues, but there are lots of places to play. And I don't care how good you are, we would never be able to keep you sufficiently full to fill your whole calendar if you're a full-time musician.
Right.
I don't have enough venues. And the venues some of the venues want a lot of variety.
Yeah.
Like I have several venues that they don't want to see the same person more than once a quarter or once every 2 weeks. So 2 months. So it's like you got to have a lot of venues if someone wants to work. I mean, take a guy like Colin Hart or Rebecca Turmel. I don't know if you've talked to them, but
yeah, actually, well, we met Rebecca Turmel at the Run Like Thieves show.
Yes, you did.
Yeah,
actually.
and she's coming on my birthday actually in October. She's booked,
oh, cool.
She's booked on the show. Yeah,
but she plays like 6 nights a week. Or
yeah.
Sometimes she does double headers. Colin Hart's the same way. I mean, I couldn't possibly. You do the math. Okay, yes, we did 1,500 events, but we worked with over 200 musicians. Well, the math doesn't work there to be their sole agent.
Yeah, yeah.
And so but we're adding some venues, selectively, carefully.
Yeah.
We're not right for everybody.
Yeah.
The people who want to pay an artist $100 for 4 hours, we're not the right agency for them.
Right. Yeah.
If they want to really invest in music, and then we might be, and if want to invest in the marketing of their performances and create good experiences for talent, then yeah, we might be.
Yeah. Do you ever have anyone approach you? And obviously, I wouldn't want you to name names or anything, but does anyone ever approach you where you have to say, I'm sure delicately and carefully, but you're not ready. You're not ready for us to work with you. You've got to work on your craft a little more.
Yeah, I'm actually very direct about that.
Are you? Yeah.
Yeah. And it doesn't mean that they can't go out and get work. Like I said, there are lots of venues out there willing to pay something for performers, and some of them will pay fairly well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Go out and hustle it, get them yourself. What we focus on is matching what the venues tell us they want with the artists that we have in our roster.
Yeah.
And sometimes that means I may hire somebody, like during COVID, and my wife was down in Massachusetts still.
Yeah.
And I was up trying to help the studio business in Guilford, I started taking lessons from David Hamburger online. David Hamburger's this great fingerstyle blues guitarist out of Austin, Texas.
Okay.
Well, I've now hired him once. I got him at one of the Saf House Meadery concerts.
Yeah.
Where we do the food pairing, right?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
David Hamburger. So you know what the pairing.
Oh.
What was the food pairing?
I love it.
Now he plays slide guitar, so we had sliders.
And I love hamburgers. No, that's fantastic, though. That's awesome.
It was great.
And he's willing to roll with that. He doesn't feel like you're making fun of his name or
Not
anything?
at all.
Yeah,
No,
that's good.
Not at all. No, he stayed with us. He's a great guy.
Yeah.
We will get him up here.
Yeah.
Again.
That's cool. That's very cool. Yeah, I only ask because I know, sometimes when you're in that position, because I used to, years ago, like I said, I did booking agent work and I was a promoter. I would do local shows, and every once in a while I'd hear from somebody and I'd have to say, you're not ready for this. But
we have a coaching program.
Oh,
So if someone's serious about wanting to improve,
yeah,
we will work with them and it's across all aspects of their performance style, their business, what they're doing from a business perspective, what they're doing from a marketing perspective. We charge for it similarly to you would for a good guitar lesson.
sure, yeah,
And so we'll sit down, we'll go over what their goals are, and we'll give them things to work on.
yeah,
And very often those are like one and done sessions. We give them enough work for the next 6 months that they don't need one. But some people will come and, for some period of time, they may come have a session once a month or once a week.
yeah.
Dan Fallon was one because he really good performer.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't understand certain aspects of the business.
Okay.
The first session paid for itself 10 times over because he learned how to file for his royalties.
Okay. Excellent. Yeah.
So we try to focus on the whole aspect of the 360 of being a musician in the do-it-yourself world.
That's really cool. Yeah, I had no idea that you did that, and that's something that is so desperately needed. Because and actually, coincidentally, we had the band Sepsis in here earlier.
Yeah, I was listening to that. It's interesting.
And we always end up in these conversations too about the music industry, and knowledge is power. And I know a lot of musicians don't want to have to learn some of the things that you need to learn to survive as a musician, but it's called the music business for a reason. And if you want to have a long career, you got to know this stuff.
Yeah, and the places where we'll see people fall down sometimes is you can be for example, a self-taught guitarist. I can tell you, if you're a self-taught guitarist and you go take lessons from Brad Myrick for a year, you'll be a better guitarist.
Yeah.
You just will, because he is one of the best guitarists around, and he will teach you stuff. If you haven't figured out how to get out of the first position,
right,
or how to do chord and substitutions or inversions or whatever, and it's not like going to Berkeley. It's like it's about developing musicality. It's about developing knowledge, and so actually he has a number of students just around music and guitar, not about. So he's doing that as well.
Yeah.
So I tend to focus a little bit more on live performance and on some of the business sides of things.
Yeah. No, that's great. Oh wow, it's late. We gotta begin to wrap up. But
Okay.
John, I'm so glad you came in. This has been a fascinating discussion.
Thank you for the time.
Absolutely, glad to do it. Where should people know to keep up with everything that NH Music Collective is doing? Where should they go online?
Well, Facebook, we post every day all the shows that we're doing at every venue, right? So that's one place you can go. Instagram. We have a website. We're going to improve it this year.
Okay.
We have a website, but our full calendar is on the website, so you can look ahead to see what we've got there.
Okay.
And just come see us. Come hang out with us at a venue.
Yeah,
That's the best thing.
Absolutely. No, Jenny and I loved that Run Like Thieves show. That was a lot of fun. And they're such a great band too. Yeah. They're so good.
Well, come see Ian Gallipo and Ian Archibald at B&H Stage the first Sunday of July.
Oh, very cool.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So one of my quick discoveries is that when I came to New Hampshire, that it's a bunch of microclimates.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so both Ians are from down south, and we're doing this show in Concord. So we want to see everybody come out and support somebody who's not from Concord.
There you go. There you go. Very good. Very good. John, thank you so much. This has been wonderful. Jenny, do you want to plug your website before we go? You got a lot of stuff going on.
A lot of stuff going on. You can go to jencoffey.com, JENNCOFFEY.com to find out more and find out information on my new Substack.
Very good. Yes. And congratulations on that.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. We got to go. If you missed any part of today's show, it'll be up in just a little bit at WMNHradio.org and at my website, mattconnarton.com. Thank you, Sepsis, for coming in earlier, and John McArthur. Thank you again. And thank you again to Hope the Rapper for this great track, Problems. We'll play a quick snippet of it as we go, and we'll talk to y'all a little bit later. Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.